Konversationz with Kizzy.
Hey y'all can see my green screen because I broke one of the little things on it, so it ain't sitting up as high. Look, it won't stay up. I broke the thing, so I said, okay, screw it. If it bothers me too much, I'ma just take it down. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey! It's your girl Kizzy, y'all. I'm a mess today. I done had so much going on today, and I just feel like I'm all over the place. I had a great 4th of July weekend. Look, I done broke the damn green screen. It's okay. I'm gonna invest in another one. That damn Don one, what's up? I'm giving shots out that's over there on Instagram. Y'all welcome back to, you know, for another episode of Conversation with Kizzy presented by me in a minute. Tonight, though, it's the Venus versus Mars. I gotta turn my mic up. There we go. It's the Venus versus Mars edition. I have two special guests coming in tonight. They they have insisted on coming to the show, so I'm allowing them the space. Hold on, I gotta refresh the Instagram page. It froze. I don't know what was going on over there. I had to do that last week, but I caught it too late in the end of the show. Let me see if it's gonna pop back up for me. I think it's just gonna reopen back for me. It did. Good job, Lakisa. Yay! And I see myself over now. I did happen to break two fingernails this weekend. The same two fingers. I know how I broke the left hand. I have no idea how I broke the right, but we gonna see what happened. But anyway, y'all, I always invite men to come onto my platform and speak their piece. So I have two gentlemen joining me tonight who want to come in and speak their piece. What they really want to do is come in and debate me, which I have no freaking idea as to why. But this is a safe space. Come on in. I'll let you do what you want to do. But y'all know me. I drop facts. I don't have time to be making stuff up. I be telling y'all real stuff every time I tell y'all something. Especially if it's my stuff, and I give y'all real perspectives, and it be in real time. I don't rehearse for these shows. The only shows that I kind of practice for, and I didn't even practice for them. I created questions for the Backstreet Takeover interviews. I created questions to ask them so they can have that interview experience. They're on the platform, and so I did it with decorum. Uh, but the mere words of men, amen, has set a lot of men off. And for the real men, y'all know I applaud y'all because why? I created a hero headline just for you because I know it ain't all of y'all. However, these two gentlemen feel like they want to come debate, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I do believe these brothers got together and had a couple of conference calls, to talk about what they done plotted against me. But if you're ready all the time, you ain't got to get ready if you stay ready. And I ain't even worried about it because I'm like, if I've already come to this particular conclusion because my assessments and evaluations happen instantaneously. Uh, but I'm excited to have them here. I feel like tonight is going to be a very interesting episode. A fun. It's going to be a fun episode, at least for me. Uh, I started sipping a few moments ago, y'all. So I said I might well go ahead and give me a couple of sips before the show because this is gonna be interesting. Because so they finna try to tag team me, which says enough, right? It take two of y'all to come talk to me, but all right, come on through, come on through. I want you to come on through and talk to me. So I'm just waiting for them to get loaded up backstage, and then I'm gonna bring them on, and I'll tell you who they are before I bring them on. Yes, they both have been on the show. They both came and did they're part of Backstreet, and so they came in and did their interviews for Backstreet because they both have roles. Both of them are kind of one is bigger than the other, but they're both bigger roles. Let me just put it this way: they got more scenes than me at the moment. So I did have them come in and do their interview, but they want to come in. Oh, we want to come in as ourselves and talk to you. All right, come on in the room. I'm never afraid, or am I going to shy away from a conversation because This OCD in me, the devil is in the details. And sometimes when you're having conversations, people don't really evaluate this situation um, from the needed perspectives. And I am thankful that I have the mind to give thought to other perspectives and to be able to see them and understand them. Not agree, but I understand at the at the very least. And I might just flat out disagree. I'm not even in front. It is what it is. Y'all got sundress day today. I love this little comfortable dress. It's the best thing I done bought ever, y'all. But anyway, kinky lingerie. Ah, interesting stuff going on with kinky lingerie. I'm gonna have to do a kinky lingerie episode, but there's so much stuff. So just stay tuned. Visit the website. A lot has changed. But Men Ain't Minute is coming up on 3 years. Um, we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary in September. And what's going to happen is there is going to be a 3-year anniversary celebration. Why didn't I wait to 5 years? Because it's like, whoa, I'm at 3. How did I get here? Thank y'all. Somebody just sent me a message. I think they did. Oh, I wonder, are they together? This is going to be fun. I'm telling you, they have to be in the same room. But anyway, they want to come on here. I guess they want, funny thing, they want to teach me a lesson. They better check my resume. You can't teach me no lesson. You got to be right to do that because I'm accountable enough to be like, okay, I'm wrong. Okay, you're right. But it's funny. Um, y'all wouldn't believe how many times I get approached by men about this show. It's darn right hilarious to me how many men approach me about this show. Not even so much about the show itself or the content within the show. They do approach me about the simple name Men Ain't Menin. And I'd be like, okay, well, come on the show. They ain't coming. There's one individual that I can't wait to get on the show because every time I see him, it's something about me and Amen. And I keep saying, well, come on the show, come on the show, come on the show. I guess they want to prove me wrong, but I'm like, you can't prove me wrong. You can just talk about your experiences, but you got to be able to be completely honest about your experiences and tell the whole story. I'm gonna tell y'all the whole story. I know, like I told y'all, sometimes ain't nobody safe on this show, not even me. Like last week, I don't know what I did, but it was something I talked about, and I was like, it was funny to me. I knew it wasn't right, but at this point, what can I do? What can I do? I don't feel like I was wrong either, because I stated facts. We was talking about the knickknack dude. He just so happened to catch the episode and called me after, right? He called me after. And he was like, so I'm the knickknack nigga. And I said, I didn't say that, but you do fall in that category. He thought it was funny and he called himself that for a few days. And I guess he got, over it. But my question was it a lie? And he was like, "No, based on what y'all said, no." So I'm like, "How you calling me in an uproar?" And he was like, "No, it was funny. It was funny." I gotta hurry up and order me a new green screen stand because this one where I got it at, every time I move, I see the screen. That's because it's broke. I broke it putting it up tonight. But anyway, both of my guests have arrived backstage in the studio, and I can't wait to get this shit started because I am curious to. I got questions for them after their introductions because there's something I just really need to know. And this is going to base the premise on how the show proceeds. See, they think they didn't plot it against me to conquer Men Ain't Minute, but the numbers don't lie. So we have Sherman James Jr. and Shimon James back back in the studio with Conversation with Kizzy. So with no further ado, y'all know We ain't finna waste no time. We just gonna go ahead and okay. Before I do that, it's something I want to try because y'all heard me training uh Chester earlier, and I don't know if this thing make noise or not. So I'm finna see. Heck no, it don't make no noise. I told him I was gonna try, but anyway, let me get my guest in here, y'all. Hey, I'm about to bring y'all fellas on. Is y'all ready? Cause I can see y'all. They can't see y'all. Well, here we go. Let's bring them on in the room. We have Sherman James and Shimon James, better known as Murcy. What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's up? Can you hear me?
Of course. What about you, Mr. Shimon? Can I can't call you that. Mercy, can
Please,
can I
thank you.
say
Thank you.
oh,
Thank you, young lady,
you're
for that.
you are welcome. Yeah, he called me young lady. I'm older than him. But anyway, welcome fellas back to Me and Amen,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
presented, and
Yeah,
thank you for
thank you.
joining the
Thank you for
conversation
having
with Kizzy podcast. Uh, so I got a question for you fellas.
Oh, we starting out with a question, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, where are
what
we going? Let's see where we going.
what brings you here?
Well, what brings us
the
here?
topic. Your headliner, the headliner of the show, men ain't men. That what brings us here.
That's absolutely
The
what.
the, the, the vision of what's going on today. That's what brings us here.
All right. So you guys came on to debunk men ain't men.
Well, it's not as
Not
so
necessarily
much.
deep, but go ahead, bro.
It's not as so much to debunk, but to add perspective. You know, and
Ah,
we feel like it's too much of a one-sided thing because you basically said men. That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
However,
That's a generalization that encompasses all men.
it does
And
not. I
so
created a whole hero headline for the good ones.
it's more than the good ones. You got some that you probably may consider good. Some you may fall in the middle. Some still developing. Some done fell off. But it's as long as they still got life, we still got life in our body. There's a
Okay.
pick me up
Okay. Well, this
that
show
that's
this
to
show
be
isn't
had.
just it's not just to bring men down. It's
Okay.
also to help
What?
them to learn.
Okay. I got. What do you? Okay. I ain't going. It ain't really a question. What do you consider a good man?
Well, the qualities of a good man because nobody's perfect. I speak on
Are
this
you
when I
sure about that?
oh I'm 1,000% sure. It's the
Okay.
quality. It's the
Because I could
qualities of it.
I could swear some perfect women in this world based off of a lot of women's commentary. So to
Well, my
say nobody's
commentary.
perfect, I don't
But
know about
well, well, I'm gonna say nobody's perfect, and not only do I say that all the time, I actually have stories on here about women who sometimes just need a little shaking because
that.
she doing something.
Just a little shaking.
Well, and it
Because I know
well, I
some that need to be shook out, dumped out the bag, rolled in the dirt, and refried and resituated
and I have
mentally,
n- and I have
spiritually.
n- and I have never said
Yeah.
otherwise. I've never said otherwise. I am glad that you two came on the show
Yes, ma'am.
because I
Thank
have
you.
had an open door policy for men to come on and give their perspective. This is
Hmm.
a safe space for you guys to state your grievances because true enough, all they get is my side as a woman, which is why I invite men on my show
We
and they
here.
don't come. And I'm so happy that y'all came. But
Mhm.
I just wanted to ask them questions first. But I wanted to give y'all a space so y'all can do exactly what you intended to do. I am only here to navigate this information that you're going to give because I've always said, listen, I commented on somebody's thing like 30 minutes ago. I
Mhm.
don't even remember what it was about, but she was dead wrong. I'm gonna tell her she wrong if she wrong. My friends, everybody that I know, is if y'all come at me and tell me y'all did da, 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 I'm gonna be looking at you, know you was wrong, right? I support
Mhm.
accountability
Mhm.
on all levels. So I'm
Yes,
glad that
ma'am.
y'all came, but because this gives the audience a different perspective from
Mhm.
men on relationships, and this is what I also host a round table and let the men come in and take over. What I just sit back and just monitor the
Mhm.
room. So I always want to give men a space because it does say men amen.
It
And
does.
it
Okay.
it and we
From
are coming up.
this is my total argument from my perspective.
Well, hold on, bro.
On
I gotta introduce my brother uh formally, as he will be presenting himself on this show. Uh we're gonna call him Reverend Hennessy.
Yeah, Reverend
That's his
Henderson.
name, Reverend Hennessy.
Yeah.
So y'all can actually refer to him as Reverend Hennessy. We would
Well, that's
politely
Oh yeah.
okay. I want to be
appreciate that.
Queen Remy tonight, then.
Well, we have no problem with that, Miss Queen Remy. But Reverend Hennessy right there.
I cannot.
So
Okay. Anyway. Okay.
just let him
Anyway,
do
all
his
right.
thing.
I
Let him
may,
do
I
his
may,
thing.
I may jump back and forth into character every once in a while, but you will see him jump in and out on the show.
All right. So, uh, Sherman,
Yes.
you needed to watch. You need to be on the show and watch yourself. I see you.
You
I see.
what's going on? You see me seeing me?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Let me turn this way.
The
Then
screen.
somebody had
How
called me and
how
messed up my audio.
how about this right here?
We can still hear you. I
It's
still look
ridiculous,
behind.
man. I don't
I got
understand.
I gotta look
Look.
you in the eye. So my bad.
No. Look to your right.
Oh, you talking about this right here? Oh,
Yes.
well, hello. Hold
It's
on.
okay. You can have that up. I just noticed it.
You know,
Sh-
I was doing
Uh,
some testing. This is my first time because after this we will be back.
oh,
So yes,
you
ma'am.
you're expecting an invite back. All right.
Yes, we it's not gonna be an invite. It's invite. It's pretty much gonna be required.
It's not going to be required.
It's gonna be required.
It'll be at a request, and I grant it. Let's clear that up.
Almost the same.
That's why it say Lakeisha Dennison on the paperwork.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hold on,
Yes,
let me
ma'am.
get let me get let me get Reverend
Mer-
Hennessy
yeah,
back.
Rev Hennessy.
He talking about somebody that
Okay.
called and
Oh,
messed
there
up my
you go.
audio. All right,
Yeah, they
so
messed my
I'm
audio up, man.
I'm gonna kick this off because I feel like it'll be, and this is all I want to do is kind of guide you guys through the show by asking you questions that I did not prepare that are just popping off the top of my head. So
So
this
you gonna
beginning,
guide us, huh?
yeah. So this is kind of gonna like get y'all to be able to get what you need off your chest, off your chest.
Okay.
I'm
Well, we
really
don't necessarily have something on
trust
our
me.
chest. We just got truth.
Oh, and so I gotta
I
ask
can say
questions. So
I can state my argument.
okay, fine, Mercy, state your state your argument.
Okay. My- Now, say now, why are us being men and women being supposedly being how can I say it being having to coexist? Why are we so divided
Hmm.
All right,
when we are
so
utterly made to why we are utterly made to coexist? Why are we so divided?
I'm gonna part of that. I hate to say it, and I've been saying this since it happened. A lot of it really transpired during the Me Too movement. I don't know why we needed it.
Me
I
too.
feel like, yeah, women were on this, oh, Me
Can you
Too. If he can,
expound?
of course, they were on this, oh, if he can do it, I can do it crap. And I was like, no, that ain't, that ain't, that ain't why we here. You ain't supposed
Yeah,
to necessarily be able to do what he do. And he's not supposed to be able to do necessarily everything that you do. And I get it. It
most
was big on,
definitely.
oh, women's rights and this, that, and the third. And then it went to,
Yeah,
I don't need a man. And I'm like, where did that come from? Your whole
yeah,
purpose to reprocreate. You're supposed to multiply. So
yeah.
I think a lot of it got really big when that whole Me Too movement started some years back. And it just
Yeah.
spun out of control from that. And because of that movement, men started to step back into a feminine realm because these women was hollering, me too, I can do it. And I'm sitting there thinking, don't do it. Don't do it because I don't want to do none of that. I want to maintain my position as a woman. And I really hate that it happened. Whoever got whatever they got out of it, I hope they got what they got because right now, everybody's struggling with certain things. But helping you
Mhm.
wanted that Me Too movement, you got to struggle with that on your own. I ain't vote for that. I ain't sign up for the Me Too movement.
Well, see,
Yeah,
if
I hear what you're saying, but I believe the Me Too is a good point, but I believe it's deeper than that. It's that's just the shallow part of it. I think it's more agenda. It's in more of a higher agenda basis. the is it what
I'm gonna say
demasculate
emasculate.
the black
Demasculate.
man?
I
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't know if it's
to
just.
emasculate.
I
emasculate
don't
the
know
black
if it's.
man. I think it's the gender. Okay.
I don't. And which was part of
That
the
ain't no
Me
get
Too
somebody
movement.
else. Oh,
No, no,
man.
no. He's right. That came from the Me Too movement. That's what I'm telling you.
Part of
That
Well,
came from the Me Too movement.
I'm gonna raise my hand. Y'all mind if
Go,
I interject a little bit?
go ahead, Sherman.
Uh, I have to agree with my brother on this. I think the whole Me Too movement was just a culmination of things that took place way before. I think it's probably more recognizable the Me Too movement. You know what I mean? Because it was worded differently. But I think the emasculation of the black man and the separating of the black man and the black woman started long time ago.
It
Because you
started
got
a
to
long
look,
time ago. From say it started in slavery because what
yeah,
happens? It started
I
in
think it
slavery,
started
so it's
before that. Because
well, I
you
don't
think
know.
about,
I don't know about before that. And the reason why
well,
I can definitely pinpoint it in slavery because what did they do? They got slaves to breed them and then split them up. And so it
oh
became a
yeah,
normal thing. And so a lot of things are embedded from way back then and even before. But very specifically in America, where we are, a lot of that happened with the demasculation of men, black men, as making them slaves, breeding them. And then once
yeah.
they were free, that mentality stayed.
I truly, and I actually agree with that. I believe that is one of the major components. But for me personally, the way I observe the world, when you want to, when you talk about eugenics and what
Hmm.
eugenics mean, where they basically see us as 3/5 human, and you
Hmm.
look at the depopulation agenda, what we're seeing with the dividing of black men and black women, when we are the population that I believe that the powers that be want to be less of. You look at
Absolutely.
the multifaceted mechanism they put in place to make sure that we
Hmm.
don't procreate. Black women,
Hmm.
unfortunately, relative to our population size, in America, the abortion rate is way higher. Yeah, we have more. I'm gonna say, whites having abortions, white women having abortions because it's just more of them. But if you look at it per capita, based on the fact that we are the smallest population, but the amount of abortions that we're getting, our women are getting, it
You're
is
right.
scary for our population. And you look at the amount of black men that's being killed and the things that is being, how should I put this? I'm gonna just say pressed on us as far as our entertainment, our music. It promotes us destroying black bodies and black lives.
It
You look
does.
at the music that we have now, Lord, we talking about men ain't men.
Oh,
If we look at the
it's ridiculous.
music, Sexy Red, well, I don't even
Yeah.
know the girl name. All I know is Booty Hole Brown. Um, uh, what, what the
You know
girl
what?
name?
If
See,
you're
but
going to if you're going
what?
to rattle off performers that do certain things when it comes to how it makes women or men look or how women are perceived, you cannot neglect the fact that that started with men.
Well, we're talking about
Mm.
now.
No,
We're
no, no,
talking
no.
about
We're,
now.
ta- we're talking about now, but if you're going to talk about now, you got to talk about how we got here. That started with men.
Yeah,
Men made that kind of music first.
but see, but and you're not incorrect.
I know
But
I'm not.
when we say men aren't men,
What I mean by that,
we haven't changed much in the last
uh,
30 years.
yes, you
But if
have.
you look at,
Yes, you have.
not
You
relative to
have.
women, relative
Relatively
to
to
women,
Ephesians chapter 5, you have
okay,
changed
well, what does
drastically in
what
this.
and what does that
See,
say?
here we go. What
What
does
does that
that
say?
say?
I
What?
want to know. I
You
want you
got
to
to
All
talk
right.
give me
about.
a quote.
Okay, first and foremost, I want to make this a very valid. I need to. Oh, I guess he'll be back.
But now
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
can I
okay.
can I say this before I finish my point? If you look at, men have been making a certain type of music for decades. Now all of a sudden in the last 4 or 5
No,
years, the type of music
no,
that
it
the
started with.
women are
Oh,
making.
no,
Know what I'm
Lil
saying?
Kim started this. So let's go back.
But
Lil Kim started
it
with that.
wasn't as prominent.
Okay,
as
well,
it
here's
is
the
now.
thing.
We're not
Back
saying who started it. We're
back
talking about how
then,
prominent
back
it is.
then, it was when Lil Kim dropped. You see,
She was one of few, but now,
she started it, and the
did you watch the
foundation
BET
started
Awards?
there.
Did you watch?
No,
Matter of fact, watch the BET
I don't
Awards. The
watch none of
last,
that crap.
I don't watch it either because. But if you watch the BET Awards the last 3 years, say, and then you go back and watch the BET Awards in the 90s, in the early 2000s, our women were still represented
All
as
right,
being
so
classy.
now
It-
let
but
me
now,
course correct, because talking about women in music talking about how things are presented does not explain the behaviors in men. How is it that you can let everything else
Behaviors,
dictate?
man.
How can you let everything else dictate how you behave as a man? You got
relative to
your
what?
own mind.
Give me an example for
Anything.
you to
For
say to make
example,
that
for
point.
you to sit here and try to tell me about music, and I'm talking, my
But
show ain't about music,
no, but
but we
it's
gonna
about
talk
how
about it.
influential
Yeah, but
music
it is
has been
so.
to the
So
minds of our
so
young men and
music
women.
hasn't. So male music hasn't influenced men to be better men. Eh?
The music in general, in my opinion,
But
is
you weren't
trash
talking
right.
about all of it.
But
Yes, a lot
that's
of it
not what
is.
I'm come here to basically add some objectivity to the fact that when you say men ain't men, but if you look
You
at
know
the
what?
other side and you look where women have come from and where they are now, we in a pretty dire situation, in my opinion, because y'all the one birth the
Why?
kids. Y'all
The
birth the
question,
kids.
we're
Y'all
we're
have
the
the
ones that birthed the kids and are getting left with those kids. Let's clear that up. And
well,
that
well now,
just didn't
but
start
we're gonna
happening.
come back to that. I want you to
No,
remember what you just said
we
now.
gonna pop right here. But see, I blame both parties for that.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I
Pick better
agree.
people to lay down with. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
But the if you're gonna add perspective to this, the perspective that I'm asking for right now,
Yes,
you want
ma'am.
to give me this long essay. We ain't got but an hour. We got to get straight to the nitty gritty. And we ain't got but 33 minutes left. So we can't
That's why I
go
said
for
we
these
coming back.
to this all essay crap. You said all of this about the music and ain't told me why a man in
See,
this day and age
okay, go ahead.
wants a woman to 100% financially support him and he does nothing.
Well, okay, Reverend Hennessy, I'll let you well, you know what this question is to me.
No, Mercy, because Sherman done talked enough for the moment. Let's let you go ahead, Sherman. He gone.
He's gone.
He dropped off.
Okay, he'll pop back in.
He'll be
But
back.
see, to me personally, you interjected that question on top of a statement that I was making. Now,
Right, because it's a bunch of mumbo jumbo at this point.
No, actually, it's not, because it's relevant, because I got 2 daughters, and I keep my daughters as far away from this garbage as possible because it's powerful. You think about it, we don't have a culture really too much. Our culture changes like the wind. So the things that entertains us is what becomes our culture. So I see a direct correlation between the degradation of the minds of our women and the things that entertain our women. When you want to talk about,
Okay. Well, see,
and so,
I talk about the things that entertain both and the influences that they have on both.
but it's
Because
intentional.
this information isn't new information. But the
It doesn't
goal
have to
here
be new,
is
but it
to
has to be
educate
pointed out,
and
right?
it trust me, you can't miss it. That's not something you can't
But
miss
it's
it. It's
not.
everywhere where people are talking about how this is what I'm saying. It's everywhere how people like yourself and myself are making these posts and making comments about how unpleasant that is and how that is degrading for
Oh
women.
yeah.
I don't disagree with you at all. So that's what I'm saying. You don't need to explain that to me. I'm on your side
No,
on
I'm
that.
explaining
But
it to the listeners who want to understand our position, because the only point, I'm gonna be real quick. The only point of me bringing
so what
that up
about the
is
dudes who like that stupid mess?
I have no idea. I'm not one of them. Hennessy, not one of them. Really, not many of us like that at all. If you actually talk to us, we can't stand it.
Well, so
Now I want
what
to answer
makes
this one quick question: Why men are doing what they why men allow themselves to be influenced to do? Because you asked me that, right?
I did.
I have to put it like this. It goes back to what we all deal with, and I'm gonna have to say sin. It goes back to sin for me. It's very simple. Those who want to live righteously don't get off and do those type of things. Those that do, they'll find themselves down a path that will take them far away from what God intended us to be as men. Because I consider myself a leader. I consider myself somebody who projects a message that can be received to enhance those that are around me. I was a barber for 21 years.
Wow.
Young men come in my chair, they sit in my chair. That was my opportunity to minister to them. And I didn't minister to them in a preaching type way,
I
but
understand.
the truth. And so I'll surmise right there, and I'll let Rev
Well,
share.
see, here's the thing. Let me commend you
Yeah.
first, because I have been asking for the longest, where are the men who tell they homeboys, man, that wasn't right, or man, that was messed up, or man, why you did that? And I've been
It
looking
happened.
for them
It happened.
to come on with this perspective, because
It happened.
I'm a girl's girl, but if you're wrong, sis, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. And my whole goal was to have men to come on and say, yeah, hey, when my homeboy don't do what he's supposed to do, I say something. All right, I got a couple of comments. Let me get them out the way. Women are becoming and thinking like men. When men were thinking like this about women before the year 2000, women were hurt about it. The stage has been flipped over an era. I agree. I guess men decided to sit it out, but they allowed black women to become the largest educated group now, and basically they kind of, I ain't saying they need help, they expect help, but when women need it, they didn't get it. Another comment: Me Too is a white Romans movement to fit in corporate America and show they fit in with men, which wasn't even necessary. And that's my point. It's not what the men want, it's what the women do to keep that man. There it is. That was Lil Duke. That was Michael Barris. See, I don't agree. I don't
They,
disagree
they
with
don't do
y'all. I
that.
have been
No,
saying this.
they don't. Nowadays they don't do nothing to keep the man. Well, they so
Oh,
independent. They don't
and
need
and
him.
and,
They don't even
and
need
this
him.
is and this is why I
They
be
so
like a lot of
independent. They don't even need the man.
That's the way and they'll say that.
okay.
They don't
I got
even need the
okay.
man.
I got somebody got a question for y'all, because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
answer this. I'm gonna let y'all answer this, because
Okay.
that's what I want y'all to do. The question is, why aren't the women finding what they want? Why do y'all think that
Standard,
is?
standard,
Expectations.
standards, and expectations.
Unreachable standard.
Unread, and y'all know what? Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Unreachable.
High five, fellas. Let me tell y'all why I'm giving y'all high fives. When I say nobody's perfect, the live sipping chats, the whole point of that is nobody's perfect. And I talk about a list that people make. And this list is basically considered standards. They make a list of must haves. And every time they go through in a relationship and experience something, they add what they don't want to the what I'm not
Yeah.
going to put up with. So, this piece of paper over here with this list on it, whether it's a piece of
Standard.
paper in their mind, this is a perfect list. No, you're not going to find that.
A man is not a Ken doll that you can go by, or
Mhm.
Mr. Potato Head that you can just add all the parts you
Thank
want,
you.
and he's perfect. Neither is a woman.
Neither.
And my brother has an analogy that I love
Let's
when
hear
he
it.
talks about the pottery.
Oh yeah.
Let's
Oh
hear
yeah.
it.
Oh, as far as the pottery, at it really pertains, I believe, in the marriage, but it can also pertain to
A
boyfriend
relationship.
and girlfriend. Yeah,
Okay.
relationship. I see a relationship between a man and a woman. They sit down to a pottery. They put a hand on each side, both hands, and this is a lifelong thing. And you take your hands and you put on the mold. And when you put your hand on the mold on both sides, the man and the woman, they take it, and it can go any way. She knows when to push. He knows when to push. She knows when to add. He knows when to add. He knows the kids may mess up the pottery, but long as the man and the woman keep their hand on the pottery, on the mold, it's gonna work. It's gonna be okay.
They'll
But
learn
now
each other.
these days, women are
Hey,
men, women, and
you know
sometimes
what? I
men
like your analogy. There you go.
want
Because a lot of the times it
they
ain't the
want
woman who
they
take her
want
hand off the mold. It's the
yeah,
man who takes his hand off the
yeah.
mold and
They
touch
take their
somebody
hand
else's
off the
mold.
mold, but the mold is the object. The mold is the temple. The mold is the temple. So
I like it.
so that's how I see it. That's
All right.
real
So
old school
Yeah, yeah,
thinking for
I
another
agree.
me as
question.
far
I'm
as
letting y'all
how a
answer the question.
relationship should go.
I'm letting y'all answer the questions tonight. So Tony said, so that means those women don't fit a standard too, right? I know the answer to this.
So,
Those women don't fit a standard.
Remember
Well,
the list? Yes, Tony, that is exactly what that means, that they don't fit a standard too. Because a lot, but
Men have standards for women.
well, see what he's
but I,
referencing is what we said about, when I said I'm gonna applaud you for
Yeah,
that, and I told y'all about that, and I'm agreeing. Yes,
yeah.
that also means that they don't fit a standard too. I absolutely, yes, that's exactly what that
yeah,
means, which is why I be like, this list you got over here ain't realistic, because
yeah.
so many other
No,
podcast men
it's
have
not.
said about, okay, hey, this woman makes $50,000 a year, but she want a man that make $200,000 a year. Okay, for it was embedded in women from they when
Hmm.
from when they were little, to find a man with money and marry him. Like, that's it was embedded
It's
in them.
crazy. It's
And so
crazy.
even
And
so,
another
go ahead.
delusion is
Delusion is real,
I don't even know. It is real,
honey.
but I
The
don't see
delusion
me
is real.
see the way I think, the way I think, and the source that I draw from. I draw. A lot of people don't know it. I draw from a big spiritual. You know what I mean? Back in when I talk or say something, you know what I mean? I didn't graduate high school. I didn't go to church. Some are called, some are called, some come or some are called. I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
I'm one that is called, but I get it from somewhere. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the delusional, it's men and women. How can you be so delusional and you face with reality every day?
I call
I
it
mean, I'm talking about everyday
wishful.
reality is a full
I call it
press.
wishful thinking, because, like I said,
Yeah.
every woman can, and this is why I talk about that list at the live sipping chats. I wish you would have came to the first one. I talk about that list because it's not a realistic list for a man or a woman, because you have to find
Mhm.
somebody that some of them little bad qualities got to go back to that good list, because nobody's perfect. You everything, it's like night and day,
Yeah,
good and bad. There's going to be things about that
most
person
definitely,
that you're not going to like. You're not going to like everything. And if you think you like everything, eventually you're going to find out it's
most
something
definitely.
that you don't like.
And see, the thing
So,
is, you don't supposed
Mm,
to like everything. You're not gonna like everything. That in itself is
right,
unrealistic. It's about
yeah,
acceptance. You know what I
unrealistic.
mean? Because nobody's gonna say everything properly. They're not gonna do
right.
everything exactly the way you want them to
True.
do them. But I have a question that I still want a little bit of clarity on.
Okay, go for it.
You have a position, right? That
Hmm.
men ain't men in. I feel like I still haven't got the understanding of what you truly mean or what you're trying
Okay.
to express to me, whatever
From
it is
your
from
I,
your
perspective,
all right,
perspective.
from
all right.
your
So
perspective.
let's the name of this podcast is Conversations with Kizzy. Let's
Man
be
ain't
clear.
men.
Men A Menin is the name of the parent company. I use
Okay.
Men A Menin to do exactly what I'm doing to you right now. I am a
Mm-hmm.
content
Okay,
creator. It is to get you
okay,
riled up and come to
We
the
here?
table and have a
okay.
conversation about
Yes.
grown up relationships and how people have been behaving over the last 5 to 10 years. So
Mm-hmm.
Men Ain't Menin wasn't necessarily a pun, which is why I've always said nobody's safe. Even me. When I do some crazy stuff, I come on here and tell them I was dead wrong and I shouldn't have done it. I'm gonna laugh about it, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
apologize and be accountable once
That's
So
commendable.
Men Ain't Minute was just a catchphrase, which is why this podcast is called Conversation with Kizzy, and Men Ain't Minute is a parent company who also hosts the Hero Headline, which I purposely made because I wanted it to be really clear that I know it ain't all men. I know a few good men. I've dated a few good men. They just weren't ready for what I was ready for at the time. So it is
Mhm.
always my pleasure to have fellas come on and talk about dating in this era and the experiences that they have. Hopefully the other people can learn from them, and also at the same time I drop knowledge from that good book, so I ain't
Well,
just out here
oh yeah,
Mm,
oh
talking.
yeah.
But
And
Tony said
see,
we all gonna be
mm.
real lonely. Our Lord.
and see, for me personally, I'm not on the dating
I ain't
scene.
lying.
I've been off the dating scene for about 12 years, but I
Which
understand the
means
dating
you
scene.
you understand the dating
I
scene.
understand this dating scene. I
You
understand the
have
It's
minds of
you
both.
horrible.
have you have a bird's eye view of the dating
It's
scene.
horrible.
Don't he,
Horrible.
Mercy? He don't know what's
See,
down here
Horrible.
in these
hey,
weeds.
baby,
Look, don't even look for this.
Horrible.
Don't look down here.
baby,
You
hold
Horrible.
safe
on,
where you at.
hold on. I'm gonna show you
Boy.
something, baby.
KYT. I'm just telling him
Boy,
dating
Can
now is
no,
not
no,
the same as
Miss
it
Kizzy.
was. It's different. What's up,
it's
Kizzy?
Listen,
hard.
I'm expressing to you why I gladly got out of the dating scene because I found my queen and
Oh God.
just for
Oh
baby,
God.
you'll make me a sandwich, please, ma'am, sweetheart, my sugar
Thank you, Sugar Lump Sons. Go
sugar
ahead.
boo better.
Look, and that's what I'm talking about.
Can
And
you?
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And
So
look,
Yeah, I want a nice simple sandwich like it was when I was 10.
you want
Yeah,
some
want it.
bologna and some
Yeah,
mustard
make
and
me just
bread.
some old cheap cheese and some what else? I know she got something for me,
look,
baby.
man.
But listen, we got some comments. We got to put them out there. But see, that's my thing.
Okay.
He did that to prove a point. But my dude to tell you, I show up, and if things are a mess, okay, we got to clean this. When it's time to
Oh
eat,
yeah. Oh
he,
yeah.
he likes to cook, so I let him do that. I can
See,
cook,
I'm the
but hey,
same way.
if you
My
want to do
brother,
it, I'm gonna let you do it.
my brother and myself,
Mhm.
we basically amateur chefs. I've been literally cooking since I was 14. Ain't too many women, I believe, that can really come up to where I am when it comes to
I've been
cooking.
cooking since I was 7.
Well, you probably been burning stuff since you was
No,
7.
no, honey. I
You
no,
you,
no,
you want to
no,
start a
no.
cook-off podcast? Where you at?
Hey, we can do the cook off. It's nothing.
Oh,
I have
you
been
want,
cooking since I was 7, and I ain't talking about boiling no water. I got in trouble for cutting up Lois
well,
chicken.
you is from the country, so
Right,
I can
right. All right.
understand that. But
All right,
Okay,
Miss
okay, okay,
I'm sending
Thank
you
you,
a
Miss
personal
Robinson. Hold on,
sandwich.
we got
okay.
comments. Wait, we gotta
Yes,
get these
ma'am.
comments
Yes, ma'am.
in. These men that aren't men shouldn't get to the door opening. 1000% agree. The problem seems to be attraction. Hold on, let me address this with Tony. Tony, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, dog. It ain't necessarily attraction. And I hate to say this, but a lot of times them niggas be lying to them chicks just so he can get it. Some men get it, some men just want to get it. And I'm not, hey, women do it too, but I'm gonna call it ace of spades because we're
Thank you,
Okay,
talking
babe.
about men.
okay. It's a
Thank
Thank you,
double-edged
babe.
sword.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying they do.
Can
They
you?
because we found
Okay,
out
okay.
later that was his homeboy Kyle. Hold on, wait a minute. Are men that shouldn't get to the door? I agree. Dating is 1000% transactional. Thank you for saying that because a lot of men don't understand that the only woman that's ever gonna love him unconditionally is his mama. Every other woman got a condition.
Hmm. Wait, what? Now who's what? Now what did he say or she said? Say.
He said dating is one
Every
thousand
woman has a
percent.
condition.
Oh,
He said dating is 1000% transactional, and I said he's absolutely correct because only woman that's ever going to love you as a man unconditionally with no conditions is your mama. Every other woman that you interact
I
with in
believe
a relationship,
I believe that's true. I believe that's true
that's
to a
that's
certain
one thousand
extent.
percent true because she
I don't
wants
know.
something
No,
from
no,
you in
no,
return.
no.
Hold on,
He
we
may
got one
want
more.
some. He may want something from you, but I no, no.
She wants more. Okay, what does she? Either she want you to be
mm-mm.
Either she wants you to be in an exclusive relationship that you ain't ready to be in, or she wants
O-
your money.
Okay. As a seasoned lady, as yourself,
I'm seasoned. Okay, sir.
seasoned,
Yeah.
as a seasoned woman, as yourself. Okay, if a man cannot do anything for you,
Hmm.
give me a percentage of a chance of him,
When
whatever.
you say not do anything for me, are you talking about emotionally, mentally, financially, or all
All of
three?
it.
If he, if,
All of it.
if he, first of all, if I am in a position where a man can't do anything for me, I'm not attracted to him, so I'm not going to waste his time.
Hmm. Okay.
And if a woman
But
doesn't,
you can take a man that's a millionaire that like a girl on the bus stop sucking a lollipop.
Exactly.
that's all
Oh,
cool,
the
fine, and
Stone
dandy.
Cold millionaire.
But that,
There's a big difference between men and women on how we operate.
there's a big
Yeah.
y'all don't need to be. It's three things y'all need. Primarily, they fall
Oh,
into three
well, I don't know.
categories.
Well, we do have
But
a priority list.
that changes
It
over
changes
time. The three
over
things
time.
that you may think we need, it changes over time.
All
Yeah.
right, so if you had to name
I
the top,
promise you it does.
if you had to name the top three things that a man needs now, what would it be?
And in my place right now,
Yeah,
it's mental. It's all mental. It's the
no, no,
mental
no. Name
capacity to
three things.
There is no three things. Sex is
Well,
So
overrated. Sex is
okay, sex is
overrated.
overrated. Well, you only saying it not because your ass is older, but but when you
and
was
that's the
30,
point. You know what? That's actually the
See
point
now,
that he's making, right? And I'm gonna interject real quick. As men become old, as men age, right? The things that used to move a man when he was 30,
doesn't
25, don't move him the same no more. A
no,
man has gone through some things, and that which he's valued has changed. Not saying that we don't
yeah,
still have an inkling of that is in us. We still have those desires, but it definitely just changed. You know what I'm saying? Them little hips
like
and
BB,
all that little
like
stuff that
BBL.
used to
no
make a
you.
man
All
attractive,
Let
boy,
me
they
tell
gonna
you how it.
they have
Hey,
all
you
that.
know what?
Women have BBLs and all that stuff for other women. They don't have for men.
don't have it.
I,
It
I,
ain't
I
for
don't
They
us,
need
don't.
that, but
but we don't need it.
just to add to your point, not to take away from it, but just to add to your point, all you needed was a sandwich, and she got it for you.
Oh
And
yeah,
this is what I be telling these,
I,
and this is what I trust me, I
baby.
speak on it. I'm not against y'all. A lot of things that y'all hear, sometimes y'all gotta understand that they be my own personal experiences or
Mm-hmm.
something somebody else sent to me. But I always give real men praise. Part of the reason why I started Kinky Lingerie was because, hey, ladies, y'all ask for a lot. As
A
a
whole
woman,
lot.
we ask for a lot. Keep it spicy at the bare minimum. Dress it up. Take your bonnet off. You know what I'm
I
saying?
totally agree. Can I say my
No, I totally
list
agree with
of
that.
things, my priority
All
list?
right, so wait a minute. Somebody, okay, I want you to say yours, and I'm gonna tell y'all what got put in the messages. Go ahead.
Okay. My priority list first is
I don't have no
intimacy.
priorities.
I got a
Free,
priority list. Intimacy is number
free,
one.
intimacy, perfect,
Companionship and
companionship,
loyalty. Those three
and loyalty.
things. Intimacy, companionship, and loyalty. Because the intimacy is the one thing that exists on this earth that I can't provide for myself. And the only
Exactly.
place I want to get it from is the God-given black queen.
Avenue that was given to you, right?
That's it. That's the only place. And me, for a man, I consider myself to be very capable. Thank God for my daddy. He taught me so many things. He,
Yeah.
it just goes without saying. Like I said, I know how to cook, cleaning, all the things that
All
you
that.
typically value in a woman. That not that we don't, but
Yeah.
the core essence of the union between the two for me is the intimacy and the companionship. And if a
Mhm.
Yeah.
woman shuts that off from you and she starts using that against you, for a man, she truly starts to become, I don't want to say an enemy,
But
because
an
but she
enemy.
she just that to that point, because she's
That's
hurting
exactly
you
what. That's
in the
exactly
she's
what it
hurting
is.
you in the way from when you was a child. For a man, you groomed to be a lion. You groomed to be a lion. For me to plant my flag right here where you are and say, I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna take care of these kids, I'm gonna make sure you have everything you want. Because from the day you meet her, you trying to convince her, I got you. You trying to say, I can provide this for you, I can get this house for you, I get this car, I'm taking you out to eat, and all you got to do is look pretty. Look pretty, and it's simple for a man. We don't need much. You know what I mean? And
No,
so,
not at
and like
all.
my brother said, unfortunately, too many women, not all women, becoming
Yeah.
a little too cosmetic. I'm gonna tell y'all women now,
Oh my
we don't
You
God.
know
like that.
what?
If we want plastic, they got
I'm gonna
glow up dolls
interject.
that's
I'm gonna
plastic.
interject here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Mhm.
now.
I'm gonna interject here.
Yeah.
Tony,
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your honesty. Two of the things, thank you, Tony. Tony says y'all need sex, peace of mind, and loyalty. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
peace of mind is everything that y'all described, but then you have to look at the devil is in the details. What falls
Yeah.
into peace of mind? You want to be fed, you want to be, and what's the other F?
Hold on now. So that's, I'll let Rem uh
You
Hennessy.
want to be fed, you want to be,
Yeah.
and what's the other F?
Well, I can say friends. Of course, you wanted to be your friend. You want to laugh together. You want to be able to do stupid things together and joke on each other and laugh about it. You know what I mean?
What you say, Mercy? Mercy done froze. Let me get to these comments. He say sex, peace of mind, and loyalty. And then he say, man, Diddy is locked up for baby oil. Sex is on the list. Lord have mercy. I can't even
boy,
take.
but what? Boy, I tell
That's
you.
funny. But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, baby oil
but
ain't no crime.
but a lot of the things that y'all are saying falls into one of the three categories. I don't disagree with that. But the encouraging thing is to find someone who wants to fulfill those 3 F's, but then you got to think about the things that women need to be fulfilled. I think the
Oh yeah,
disconnect
yeah,
is happening in relationships right now is because every man is for themselves. And I mean that when I say every man is for themselves, that includes women too.
yeah, yeah.
Um Companionship is gone because it's, oh, I don't need a man. Girl, shut up. I am so over that. But for those of us who need men, we are dealing with men who have dealt in previous relationships with women who mentally or emotionally abuse them. And so they
Yeah.
get in a mindset that I'm never going to try again to be a man to a woman unless she's a woman to me first. And that ain't how the Bible intended it.
Mm-mm.
They
No, no.
always, I have a lot of men always throw Proverbs 31 in my face, and I have to tell them, baby, have you read Ephesians chapter 5? Because they're nowhere in the Bible, nowhere in the Bible does it says a woman is to love a man. It tells you to love her like
See,
God loved the church.
now see, this is something that's something I want to address, and I gotta wait for Reverend Hennessy to come back.
No, you
Are you
don't.
there?
Y'all got
I,
to tag team me. Y'all, hey, he
no,
no, he ain't there. He ain't
it's a
back yet. He
specific
out.
reason why I kind
Let's
of
hear
went
it.
in there on that particular thing.
Nah, y'all trying to
Because
get it to me. He can chime in when he
it's
comes.
we
Let's
are
see it.
together. We love. Listen, we love y'all.
No, yeah,
Y'all are
yeah.
the only way. We love y'all. Y'all bring our black babies into the world. Y'all brought us into the world. God has tasked y'all with something that we would never experience. So we sympathize. We can't quite empathize with it, but we can sympathize with what y'all going through. So a proper man gonna make sure he takes care of you when you going through those things. You know what I
All right,
mean?
so I do. Tony, yeah, but see, a lot of times men don't understand that women
That's why I
need
say
reassurance.
proper.
Hold on, so let me read this comment. Your
Yes, ma'am.
sidekick back, and then y'all can tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
It says family is not
Man,
family
some thing.
anymore.
I was
The
letting them.
men and women are competing, and kids aren't being raised, and we are all the problem. I agree. We rationalize it, but as long as there are single parent homes, we not winning. Correct? Even with
Oh
government
yeah,
assistance,
totally agree.
and
Totally
he
agree.
has something else. We're having relationship with no end goal. We just want fun, and I think the objectives of what the end goal is has changed to just fun, and because I personally have heard men say out of their mouth, I ain't doing nothing else for a woman, all because of the
Yeah,
last woman. So you ain't gonna never find the one you ain't gonna never find the one
you're
if you
not.
refuse
You're
to
not.
figure it out.
Yeah,
You got to figure it
Yeah,
out.
you
And
gotta
then
figure
you
it out.
have
I
men
Kizzy.
screaming, "I don't need a woman," and I just be wanting to
But
smack her.
see, that's
Yes, you
rare for
do.
me to hear that. I rarely ever hear
You
that.
hear me?
Oh, I see
Yeah,
it
we
all
hear
the
you.
time.
We hear
We
you.
hear it, don't we,
You
Mo?
don't
We
come,
hear
come
it
on, come
all the
on,
time, which
man.
is why I say you can't possibly be volunteering to stand back as a man
Kizzy,
and do absolutely nothing.
y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you,
Yes.
This
bro.
this my this another perception that I have on. I told my brother this. We talked about it. This my I have on men and women, right? You take
Mm-hmm.
10 men and put it in a room, right? And you ask them what's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Hmm.
All
Period. No matter what.
No
Some
matter
of them
what.
gonna say money.
Yeah,
Some of them gonna say a car. Some gonna say a dollar.
children,
I know in my heart and my mind, there's nothing else
nothing,
on this planet more beautiful than a woman.
nothing, absolutely
For a
nothing.
man. I
I
don't care
agree.
what. I don't care if the moon, the sun. I don't care what it is.
Miss Robinson says she've heard it all the time. See, here's the thing that I find extremely hilarious. And I'm gonna tell you, y'all don't know that man unless you laying down next to that man.
Hmm.
Because women, we wear our feelings on our sleeve for the most part.
You can lay next to him every night if you
And
if
still,
you
and,
if you
but
ain't got his mental capacity, you still don't know
yeah,
that man.
that's exactly. But she knows him in a way that other people, unless
Yeah,
they've laid down with him, does. It's
That
always
she's comfortable with.
well. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
and the same
understand.
thing
I
applies
understand
for
where you're coming
men.
from.
You you don't know that woman if you don't lay down next to her. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's just that it has become way too common for men to not want to step up and make women providers and protectors.
Hold on.
And that was
Great.
the whole premise of this Men Ain't Minute. I mean,
Yeah.
I've experienced it. Other women have experienced it. I see it. I see them write stuff on the whole reason why this
Great.
podcast started was because somebody wrote something very
Excuse me,
similar
y'all.
to that. And I said, Men Ain't Minute.
Hold on. See, to go back again,
Come
like you
on,
said.
Tony. Go ahead, Tony. Tell them the most
What
important thing
Tony
to a
say?
woman is her feelings
Hey,
at the time, every time. Read it
hey,
again.
What
Mercy.
Tony say? Yes,
The
sir.
most important thing to a woman is her feelings at the time and every time. And that's a fact.
Oh yeah.
We're
Oh yeah.
emotionally driven
Be-
creatures. He
because
waited
y'all
for you to
driven
come
by
back.
that.
We're emotionally driven. He waited for you to come back because he needed you for something. So let's have it.
Yeah, yeah, I need you for something. But before I do that, just another example, you know what I mean? Because like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I have found my black queen. You know, I wish
Yeah.
she was even black. I wish she was so black I couldn't even see her. That's just how I like my black woman. But baby, great,
If
great.
you don't leave that woman
Uh,
alone during this show,
hold on,
girl, get out of there. Don't
thank you,
be.
baby.
Man, ain't no way that
Thank,
man just got
thank
goddamn great, man.
thank you, baby.
See that? Wait a minute.
That's what I'm
Let that
talking about.
wait a minute. Let that
Yes,
woman
ma'am.
serve her man. I ain't
Thank you.
mad. Cause if my man
Thank you.
asked me to fix his plate, I got my ass up and fixed it.
Yes, man. You
Let's
was
keep
all
it.
right with me. See, I
I'm just
thought I was gonna
hey.
come over. I thought you was gonna be all somewhere out in no man's delusional
I'm
land. But
I'm
you are
never
actually.
that.
But see, sometimes you have to find out. And
Well,
so,
your brother could have told you I don't be over there in La La Land because if them
well,
hoes
but
acting up,
see,
I'm gonna tell you about them.
but you did title it in a very way. I mean, in a way that will create
A rift.
contention amongst people. You know what I
It,
mean? Because
it,
my
it
contention was
was
that you said men ain't men, and when I can see every day what I call the degradation of the black culture, and
mm,
okay, all right, baby, and then like I said, our women, y'all are queens. And
yeah.
that's why I keep mentioning the whole music thing. I well, not keep, but I did mention it to see
Mm-hmm.
our women acting that way, man. It's disturbing. And you look
I
at
can
all
I can
these
I can pick up I can oh
You
shit.
know what?
I can pick up my phone. I can pick up my phone right now and go down my news feed and I can see maybe a group of
I got a question for y'all. Cause
out of 20
play
posts I can see nine or
y'all
10 of
play
them
me.
women fighting.
Yeah,
women
yeah,
fighting.
you
Why
right.
is women
You
fight?
know
Why
what?
is women fight?
Y'all
Why is
y'all
women
are
fight like they
bringing.
fight?
Hold on.
Why is
Let me
women fight like they
elaborate.
fight?
I'm finna tap all of this. Let me
Yes, ma'am.
elaborate on something. Women in music right now are produced by men, and a lot of their vision is created by men.
But see, but still, you have a choice. And now I'll say those
You
same men.
and they choose success. If not, they
Well,
won't be where they are. So they're
and,
put in a very
and
peculiar
this is
position. So
I agree.
I can't say it's 100% their fault because of some women in music, for example, Alicia Keys never resorted to that. Whitney
I
Houston
love it.
never resorted to that. There's
What's the
some
other
women
girl
who
name? India.
That's what I'm saying.
Them
Indy
women. Those
Irene, they
are
never
Why?
women.
resorted to that
Why?
because they knew how to stay
Kizzy,
true
can
to
you
their
answer this?
essence. What's
Can you
that?
answer this? Give me your perspective. Why
Okay.
are all these young women fighting? I'm talking
Because
about post after post
okay,
after
hold on.
post.
Not a lot of them women is fighting over a man who lied to both of them.
Man, that ain't got no.
No, you can't
I
put that
think
on the
they fighting
man
over
now.
I think they fighting over sheer delusion. It's just
A delusion that was created by a man who
the
lied to
masculine
both of them.
the masculation of a woman. I just think that's what it is. I don't know what it
Mm-hmm.
is,
No,
but
I'm sitting
man,
here telling
every
you, if you
post a
listen,
woman
if you
fighting.
hey, turn the volume on and see don't they talking about a baby daddy. I'm
But
telling
so
you.
whose fault is that though?
That's all of their faults.
Okay, well at least you rational with that point.
It's all of their faults. Because for one, where there's smoke, there's fire, sis.
Yeah.
So why you fighting this chick? Because she said whatever she said, but she said what she said because the nigga lied to her. And like just like so, like have common sense, have some standards, have some morals, know your value. When
Mm-hmm.
I see all that crazy crap, but I see dudes fighting too, and generally it's for something stupid too. I don't see no dudes fighting over no chicks. Kudos to y'all. But yeah, I see you hit the volume on them videos. Somebody talking about somebody baby mama,
Well,
baby daddy.
how they gonna learn that when they don't have nowhere where to learn it from? Because you got 50 and 60-year-olds getting BBLs and tummy tucks and all this, and they acting out and they out of order.
They out
I'm
of
talking
glad
order.
about
I'm
50
hey,
and 60,
hey,
50 and 60 years old,
I'm glad
55,
I'm glad I'm 48 and fine. So I ain't got to
See,
worry
BBL.
about
now, what my brother just said. What my brother just said is what I wanna.
well
What
see
the
a
hell
lot
is
of
So
that
50 years old getting a BBL for?
a lot of that BBL stuff, again, I don't know who that's for because men don't like
it ain't
that.
for us. It ain't for us.
Don't
Men
like
don't
it.
men a lot the majority of men that I have spoken with don't like that. But
Don't like it.
they're getting it to be competition for other women. But I'm like,
For
baby,
women.
and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm gonna say this. I be
Yes.
dead when I see somebody post about how fine they is, and I know they done had a BBL. Baby, you ain't
Boy.
fine in real life.
Exactly.
No.
You not fine.
Exactly. We
You're
want
not
y'all to
fine in
be.
real life.
How the hell I'm gonna pull a capital P and I ain't never learned my ABC? That's what they look like, a capital motherfucking P.
Upside down capital P.
And and I don't
What
care
is
how
going
good
on?
it looks. If you've had
It
work
don't
done,
look
don't get on
good.
here.
It don't look
Look,
good.
don't get on here talking about you making 20-year-olds girls look sick. No, you not, because that
No,
ain't
no,
how you look
no. She
for real,
making
for
us sick.
real.
She making us sick.
So
And
they,
to
I don't know
piggyback
why
that.
you know what? They a lot of times they get BBLs for their own self-confidence. They need that boost and they don't know how
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
self-aware and
yeah.
love who they are as a person. And then they following trends that rich people doing.
It's a trend.
You ain't rich. Wait a minute. The most important thing. All right, we got some more. It's a trend. Women are complaining about the
Okay.
same thing men were complaining about a long time ago because we gave women the ability to build on their own. Y'all gave us the ability to build on our own. And now what? I think the problem is women need to be in the gated community and not out here with the low and middle class. And
Well,
he says surgery culture is very
Who,
geographical. Yeah, broke
who wrote
niggas are
that,
not
man?
getting
Who
surgery.
wrote that, man?
Tony is
You must.
Tony right there. It's a dude.
wait,
He's a guy.
I gotta.
But
Can I make?
God, you must
He's
be.
being realistic though.
But can I make my point real quick, y'all? The
Y'all
reason
don't
why
worry
I
about
wanted.
it. Don't worry that we passed 8 o'clock. It's my
Yeah.
show.
Okay, the reason why I wanted to wait on my brother on this, and it's to piggyback everything that we're talking about. Now, we got to have a correction, because you said that the Bible does not say that men are to love. I mean, women are to love their husbands.
No, it
But
doesn't.
there's a bit of a correction because that is a misunderstanding. Because in
What does it say?
Titus chapter 2, verse 3 through 5. I want to read the whole thing real quick, and it will
Hold on.
encapsulate a lot of what we were
Chapter
saying.
2, verse what? Verses what?
Verse, chapter 2, verse
Hold on. Let me look. I'm gonna read the
Chapter
book
2,
of
verse what?
Hennessy. It might be in
3
there. The
through
book of
5.
Hennessy.
Yeah, the book of Hennessy.
Hold on.
Book of Hennessy. It might be in
Likewise, teach
there.
older women to be running the red lit.
Oh no,
Okay,
no,
let's
hey,
do
don't
this
pre-read. Don't
because I'm
pre-read.
gonna
Now,
ask.
can I do
No,
this?
no. I've already read it. I'm gonna let you read it, but then
Yes, ma'am.
see, I read quick, and then I want you to explain to me how that's different from what I said. Go
Well,
ahead.
this is why it's different because you said nowhere in the Bible does it are women to instructed to love their husband. They are more so instructed to respect, which that particular part is true. But I consider it a misunderstanding when we say that the Bible does not tell women to love their husband. Because in this, and I'm gonna repeat, Titus.
It does not tell them. The Bible does
Well,
not instruct them.
I ain't
Titus
never.
just tell them that so they'll know how.
No,
That there's no instructions.
can I
There's no
please?
instructions in
Can I
there as
can
to
I
how
can
to
I
go love
please?
your husband like
Can I
this.
please read what I'm about to read, man?
This is only the guide older women. This is just for
No,
older women to guide younger women.
no.
Go
Can
ahead.
I please? Thank you, Miss Kizzy. I appreciate that. You awesome. But it says the aged women, which is what my brother was referring to. When you got all these older women running around here teaching women how, they doing more teaching the young girls how to twerk and do all the other wrong stuff that they shouldn't be doing. When we're older women are supposed to be the matriarchs, supposed to teach, supposed to guide. We're not
So
receiving that. So I'm gonna finish reading it.
when you say older women, you got to be a little bit more specific. Is it the
I'm
older
gonna say
women?
from
You gonna say,
35 on up.
well, see,
Seasoned women at the
that's okay. That's not an older woman. You realize that, right?
40. Yeah,
That's not an
40 years.
older woman. An older
I'll say
woman is
so. I'll
somebody
disagree.
who is considered like 60.
It say aged or older, but that could be argued. But for me, the women that are doing the most talking are the ones that's supposed to be doing the teaching. And so because they got a lot to say. And so, for instance, the aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. Every show I watch that's related to our women, unfortunately, I'm gonna say the majority. I don't want to say every because there's always a few. They're not teaching good things. It goes to too many of our shows. All we see is our black women fighting. That is not a good thing. And it says to teach good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love. And I underline love. What does it say, bro?
You still haven't told me where it explains to a woman in the Bible how
this
to love.
This is from the. I didn't say how to love.
No.
Said,
see, that's what I'm.
You didn't say how to love.
Yeah, I did. I did say how to love. Ephesians chapter 5, starting on chapter 21, specifically tells a man how to love a woman. But nowhere in the Bible does it say to tell the woman how to love a man. She's supposed to learn that from somewhere.
But that's not what was said.
No.
You
better go back and read Proverbs.
Proverbs 31 doesn't ever say. Proverbs 31 is just telling her how to be a good woman. It doesn't tell her how to love a man. She's supposed to learn that.
No, but see, there's a change in your wording.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my change. It doesn't matter if there's a change in my words now. If you go back and look at any of my, let me tell you why it don't matter. Because everybody who watches me on a regular basis knows that I've said it. Don't, and nowhere in the Bible does it tell you how to love a man. It doesn't tell you to love. It doesn't tell you that. It doesn't tell you the steps to getting to that. It only tells you that you're supposed to watch older women to learn how.
It's in Proverbs.
It's in Proverbs. What Proverbs?
It'll
which
tell
one?
you how to love a man, but you said
which
that
one?
nowhere in the Bible does it tell
does
a woman
it tell
to
you
love
it does not tell you. It doesn't. It doesn't tell you to love a man there either. It tells you to learn. Wait a minute. No. It tells you. It tells you where you need to go to learn.
No, Kizzy, it may be. Kizzy,
it tells you where you need to go to know. It's they go learn.
It may be.
That's all right. Send it to me.
It may be in a parable.
You gotta understand it's asking.
But read Proverbs 31:30. Proverbs 31:30.
I've already read Proverbs 31.
But once you read Proverbs, once you read Proverbs 31:30, and this woman is the seeker of the Lord, everything else is falling in place because he is the hierarchy of everything. He is you don't have to learn after that.
Give her.
Then she seeks the Lord.
Let her own
the Lord is going to do the work.
Let her own works praise her in the case. The verse encourages recognizing and honoring a woman's hard work and accomplishments. It emphasizes publicly acknowledging her efforts and the positive impact she has made, rather than solely focusing on outward appearances or fleeting qualities. Give her of the fruits of her hands.
Okay.
Let her own works praise her in the gates.
Is that 31:30? That's Proverbs 31:30.
It serves as a concluding statement, emphasizing the importance of appreciating and celebrating her virtuous character and actions. It's not just about rewarding a woman's work, but it's also about publicly acknowledging her value and the positive impact she has on those around her. Cultural appreciation recognizes for women who embody virtue and make significant contributions. See, what's missing is the embodying virtue today. That's what's missing. I don't disagree with y'all.
What I know about a woman, when she accepts and she follows the Lord, all the rest is history.
All the rest is history.
All the rest is child work. The word is gonna install everything she needs to take care of a man.
1,000. I don't disagree with that, which is why I always refer back.
When she seeks the Lord and she follows the Lord, she is worthy to be praised.
I just told you all the rest is
history.
I just put all that in layman terms for you.
Yeah,
She's
and
worthy
see,
to be praised,
oh
and a
yeah,
lot of the times,
It's
what
ready to
started
be
stop
praised.
happening is
She gonna
women
get all the
start.
rest right.
Hey,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell y'all
Because a
something that
man is so
you don't want to
simple.
hear.
A man is simple.
yeah,
I'm
and a
gonna tell you,
proper
I
woman
know it. It
is
ain't
a
but three
crown
things, but I'm gonna tell y'all
to a
something,
man,
y'all.
to a
I ain't gonna
husband.
tell y'all. I ain't gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell y'all
Yes,
something
ma'am.
that y'all might not believe, but I'm
Hmm.
telling
Yeah.
y'all straight up from my own personal experiences, from hearing
Okay.
other women's experiences. Worthy to be praised. He should praise her. But in this day and age, a lot what's happening is men are men are jealous of the woman.
No, they never would. They never would reach a lot of stuff that we are going through. Me personally, a lot of stuff that we are going through. It is because it is worded that way.
And it's ridiculous. And I'm
And the
like, if
word
you
and the
know the
word
word,
and the word has to live out
Oh yeah, the
through
word has
us.
to live out.
And it has to live
yeah,
out through people.
It was spoken that these things will happen, and we're
So
seeing it
these things
real
have to
time.
be bought true through people and through word. So the
Yeah,
word got to be made true through us.
yeah,
So
and it's gonna be
it's
made true.
gonna be so much falling short just because of the word has to be made true through what we do.
Hmm.
We ain't
exactly.
gonna
And
take
this
care of each
I
other
was
right. We
10.
ain't gonna see each other right. The Bible states a woman should surpass a man in the time. Which
and that's what's
way and
happening.
how I don't know,
And
but
see
We're
that,
surpassing
it's
y'all in the
true.
things in life. Like
but that goes
Yeah,
back to
it's
men.
black
true.
women
It's
are
true.
the largest group of educated people in this country
But see,
right now.
but
And
guess what?
so the problem
The
is, here's the problem.
education will
Yeah, but
never outdo the word. Education will
it
never
won't.
outdo the word.
It won't. But
Education will never outdo the word.
let me tell you why I said that.
Because the word of
And
God has been putting to shame the
nigga, be
wise of the world
quiet,
since the
nigga. I'm finna
beginning of
tell you
time.
something. The reason why I said that wasn't to shame men at all. The reason that I said that is because somebody brought this up to me. I knew this already, but
Hmm.
somebody brought up a point to me about that. And I blame black women for this, but I also blame black men for this too.
Yeah,
Um,
you
black
got
men took
to.
a step, black men took a step back, and then black women took a step forward. And then black men expected for the black woman to reach back and pull them forward as well when they could have just stepped forward on their own. But a part of the reason why black men took that step back was because the ways of the world, in which goes by the things they watch on TV, the
Well,
music that they listen to, the things that they are being fed now in social media and the internet and the TV, as well as transgender and all of that crap.
mhm.
And black women don't feel obligated, which is really really fucked up, to reach back.
well, everything you saying, I agree with totally. The thing that I don't quite agree with when it comes to wording, when you said reach back, because
When I say reach
honestly,
back, I mean to help, to pull forward. The
but
blessing
see,
is to be a
but
blessing.
that,
And I've heard men say this. She didn't
but
got all uppity and now she can't answer and talk to somebody. And a lot of the
but
times she didn't got all uppity and don't want to talk to you because of something personal that happened in y'all relationship.
see, but the idea of reaching back is all based on the perspective that she has in her mind because her credentials seems to uplift her personally.
Well,
But
see,
men,
reaching back
men,
isn't about her personal. It's simply about sharing information. And I think
but
that's where the
but
confusion
we're
comes
not
with a lot of
back
women.
to even be reached for. In my opinion, if we're gonna use the analogy,
You
we
are back.
just need to help each other along or help each other
You
just
are
in
back.
general. Because,
You
for
are back.
instance,
Black men
men,
fall in a lesser income medium. Period.
men,
Less business. Everything like it's y'all. If you look at
that's
it
not
statistically,
that's not accurate.
if you look at it statistically, women their numbers are higher. Just
Relative to how many
period.
women have degrees. But
It's
you know
not
how
no,
many,
not necessarily,
I did the research because I know who I'm dealing with.
not just degrees, but just owning businesses and being in a different income
That's
medium. Everybody that
that's
falls in a particular income medium does not have a
but
degree.
but if you put your like your emphasis on these particular things, yeah, you can make yourself, and I'm not saying you're trying to be correct, but you can make yourself correct. But when I'm out there on that road and I'm driving, I see thousands of men driving trucks that have uh
Okay.
not degrees, but
I
like for
travel.
me, instance,
I
I
tra-
went.
I travel
I'm a
this. I
barber,
travel this.
right?
I travel the
A
world.
trade. That's what I was trying to
Okay.
say.
I travel the world, and you don't think
But we
that I
talking about
see?
blacks in America. I'm not. I know you see, and the reason
I
why
travel the. Okay. Let me rephrase it. I travel the country.
now, okay, and we're talking about black men and women.
Black,
Black men in
and I
America
this
still make
country.
more money than black women, even though black women.
And
See now, y'all have had the greatest increase. I can't disagree with that relative to where
Yeah.
you were and to where you are
Yeah.
now. But men
Yeah.
still make more money. The median income is still higher for black men than it is for black women, even though we might not be outpacing you guys, and we shouldn't be because we should be moving along
Even
together.
though that y'all are the most
and
educated out of the two.
that's and see my my point is
Yes, ma'am.
we should be trugging along together. And please
I
understand the
totally
difference in
True.
the
agree.
income is only like
True.
$2,000. It ain't no
It
True.
ain't much.
gap.
It ain't
True.
much. It's not. It's not
True.
much. But
It ain't
can I
no
say
True.
big.
this
It ain't
one
no
thing?
big gap. But do understand. The gap was much bigger before, and we've closed the gap. But what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying is, I
I
agree
agree
that
with
we
that.
aren't trucking along together at all.
No.
And that is the problem
And that
because
has nothing to do necessarily with. uh, That has nothing to do with, unfortunately, that pay scale wasn't set up by black people.
no, it was. It's multifaceted. The problem that we have, and I could tell you how many times when I'm out there. And I'm gonna give you a quick, short example because I know I can be long-winded. It could be times where I'm walking right. I'm here. I'm conducting my business. 5 white guys standing there. I'm walking by. How y'all doing? Guess how many of them speak? Most of the time, if I get one to speak, I I've done something. And this is what us as black men, we as black men have to deal with from time to time. And we have to come home and still try to bring home the bacon when we're dealing with a situation where, yeah, we have covered a lot of ground, but we deal with things that might not be perceived from those that we coming home to bring our love to.
And I
To
1000% agree with you on that
yeah,
because, but I agree that, black men have to deal with a lot because of the way that
we're
they're
the number
perceived
one
out.
endangered species on the
And
planet.
you might be the number one endangered species on the planet, but I want you to let this marinate. Black women are the least protected on this planet.
Well, well, I'll put it like this: if a lot of the black women would choose to not say I don't need a man and take the man that might not meet her standards, she
Yeah.
probably have more than she,
Yeah.
It's a,
dreamed of.
I don't disagree.
Too many of them are choosing because you don't see other races. Oh, I don't need a man. You look at
Yeah, it doesn't
Indian
make any
women;
sense to me. I'm with you on that. That just pisses me off when they
it
say
don't
that
make
because
Yeah.
sense.
I'm
Yeah.
with you on it, and I have
That's how
been.
we make black
Hey,
babies. That's how
I
we
have
make
been.
more of us.
I have preached
Yeah.
that. I have said I don't understand. Yes, you do.
It's
You do.
Yeah.
intentional.
I
It's
don't. I
Yeah.
intentional.
don't like it. I don't like it, Sherman. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
when I hear women say that because shut up. I swear to God, I be wanting to just smack. What you mean you don't
Yeah.
need no man? Well, tell me what you need
Yeah.
What
because
you need.
I'm confused because that's what we're made for.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I was just fixing to say that we were
Yeah.
made for each other. Try to take a
Yeah.
magnet that has two poles and put the wrong side together. It ain't gonna
Right.
work.
It's not
And
gonna
I'm
work.
stepping on some toes with that, but I believe in things being proper. God made man and woman. Y'all do what y'all do, but God made man and woman. So when I'm talking about relationship, that's all I'm talking about.
That's
I
because
ain't talking about nothing outside.
that's all I know.
Yeah,
So I can't
that's
talk about
proper.
that
Yeah,
because I
that's
don't know
proper.
about that. I don't you do your thing. That's you
Yeah.
over there. But
He talking about that thing right there.
yeah, I don't know about all of that. But I I can only talk about what happens between a man and a woman, and
Oh
I
yeah. Oh
1000%
yeah.
agree. I don't and if you go back and look at some of my episodes, you hear me being mad as hell about that I don't need a man. Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I never was part of the Me Too movement. I never wanted to do what he do. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to do what he do. I want him to
Mm-hmm.
pick up all the heavy stuff, open the doors. I'm gonna clean the house. I just experienced this. I was over to my dude house. He went outside
Mm-hmm.
to cut the lawn. This is his house. Clean the house. Why? Because that man was outside cutting the lawn. I'm not gonna let him come to the house and have to clean the house too, even though it's his house. The house is clean and it's
Keisha,
spotless.
your microphone has shifted or something.
Uh-oh, let me see
Yeah,
what happened.
yeah,
Is that better? Can you hear me?
You sound a
yeah. We
little
hear you.
far.
Oh,
You sound a little far, but we can hear you still.
my microphone shifted,
There you
but
go. You back. You back.
I'm not finna let you walk back in this house after you've been out there cutting all of that grass. The only thing I can do is turn the shower on when I see you coming.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm with y'all. That's why I was like, it's not what y'all think. When I get on here and talk about men in a minute, that was the catchphrase to get y'all attention. But
You definitely got us because we had a bone to pick with you
well, I
for
don't know
real.
why
Like,
Monk had a bone. He been listening for since the beginning. He could have told you, look, she keep it 100. She ain't just on the side of the
I was one of the biggest advocates of the telling you, man, you need to do it. You need to do it. You
right
just need to go and do
because
it
I
because
don't talk
you have some
about you.
interest. You have some interesting point of views that I like. You know what I mean? And I like your mindset as far as you know what I mean when you put it on the table. And you know
All
what I
right,
mean. I give you your flowers
I
for
got
that. Don't give up. Keep
hold
pressing.
on.
And
We got some. We got some
it's gonna
evil.
bust.
Look, we ain't got to end the show until I get ready. But we got some comments. I got to scroll back up.
she done
Hold
left me
on.
hanging, y'all. She done left me hanging. I got to get my own boat.
Hey, sis, say let
Bullshit.
this
They go
lady
rah
talk
rah.
now. Hold on, I got to
No,
scroll way back
hell
up,
no.
y'all. We missed so many comments.
No.
Uh, wait. I gotta scroll way back up. Godly. All right, here we go. We having relationships. All right, we have relationship with no end goals. That was the last one. She said, nope, this was the last one. I've heard it all the time. Then we got Tony saying the most important thing to a woman. Oh, we heard that one. All right, so women are complaining about the same thing men were complaining about a long time ago because we gave
Mm-hmm.
women the ability to build on their own. I
We
think the
heard
problem is
that one.
women
We
need to
heard
be all
that
right, cool. Search. Oh, all right, broke nigga. All right, here we go. On TIT, here we go. This, then we got fellas. This is the part where you let her have it. LOL. One at a time. Let the ladies speak. Oh, y'all loud and ain't talking about nothing. Men still ain't men.
one.
And then we got a woman got to like you and feel like you are irreplaceable. And a lot of women don't feel like any man is irreplaceable because
Man,
they can do
women
the same
change with the
things
men.
you can now.
When you
That's
said
how.
Yeah.
feel,
Wait a
they
minute.
messed up. When you said
I'm
feel, I'm
reading.
sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
why hypergamy must be served, and women feel like they weren't better. Women love for better and cheat for better in 2025. Child, you know men cheat way more than women, but it's not so much as feeling irreplaceable. It's about feeling safe. And if a man doesn't make her feel safe in a certain way, she gonna leave. Feel like they want better. Hold on, we got some more stuff. Men ain't men in Facebook. Paying. Oh Lord, let this. All right, all that old school shit dead in 2025. Hoes are going to church only because they're getting old, and they're doing the same thing they were doing outside and finding out they're still going to be lonely. Everybody just having sex and getting old. Okay, nobody
Mm-mm.
cares about the type of love everybody grandparents and the slaves were on anymore because we got a taste of feeling like we have power. And it's still an illusion because black people as people aren't wealthy. We're not even the conversation as people. Exactly. And you, oh yeah, and you can be long-winded. Yes, I agree with your sister. Relationships are like TV shows, and some TV show seasons are longer than others. They
She need
tune
to
black
listen.
women
That's what.
into men, and a lot of white women stay women. They turn, amen, Tony. I ain't gonna- It said they turned black women into men, and a lot of white women stayed women. I don't know if it was just the TV shows. It was a lot of the I ain't doing nothing, and a lot of that had to do with women just simply wanting men for their money and nothing else. I'm gonna be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you. That's just what it is. It said, period. We are not protected at all. And she's talking about when I said black women is the least protected group in America right now. And we are. But they always want us to jump on a bandwagon. We need a real man, not a boy. That's what we mean. I don't want no puppy. I want a big dog. But anyway,
But women need to be them same women that's doing all that talking need to be real women before they can attract a real man. Like for instance, a masculine woman can't say nothing to me. You have to be an absolute divine feminine
Feminine.
for me to even say to even look your way. A woman thinking she a big dog, always want to be the boss, want to try to run over men and rule men and talk to men a certain kind of way. That is not a woman. That's a female. A woman
Mm-hmm.
is something that carries herself a certain way. And for instance, you see this right
mhm.
here. I'm gonna give y'all an illustration. Can y'all see
Oh
this?
my God.
Yes, man.
This is
What
the
is that?
Hold
illustration.
on.
Huh?
Hold on.
I'm gonna give
Hold
y'all an
on.
illustration.
Let me see if I can make it bigger.
I want y'all to see
All
this
right.
now.
What it
This
is?
right here is a woman in the house.
Let me
What's up?
illustrate it from here, bro. I can tell you. I can
Illustrate it,
read
bro.
it.
You illustrate this for her. What's going on
That is a house, right? You got a woman standing in the front door.
with a BBL?
Yeah, you have a man on the roof.
Where he
The
at on the
Bible
roof?
states the
Where's
Bible
he at
states a
on the roof?
man is better. The Bible states a man is better off on the corner of a roof than having to stay with a quarrelsome woman.
You see
Okay.
that right there? You see that right there?
But
That's
a
what that
lot of
is.
you know what I see what that is, and I'm assuming that your analogy is what he's speaking of. But y'all do realize that, of
Yeah, I
course, a
didn't
lot
tell
of
it.
in this
What?
day and age,
I didn't tell it.
a woman who's quarreling, what's she quarreling about? Somebody fell short. We got a
She
whole
out
bunch
of
of comments.
pocket. She's
All right,
sinful because she's not listening to the word of God to say how she's supposed to be. It go back to what I
okay,
said. The same thing about men.
It is.
Sin.
hold
When
on.
you out of
It is.
pocket
Okay,
and you
hold
being a
on.
sinful
Here's the
woman,
thing. The man is the leader of the household, absolutely,
She's
but
come
you have
for
to
him.
submit. But you have to submit to one another. The problem is men don't realize they have to submit first. Hold on. Period. We need a. I think women say they don't need a man. Hey, Lottie. I think women say they don't need a man, and I agree with this. Is that they haven't met a man they are equally yoked with. Therefore, they
Mm.
haven't experienced what an actual true relationship is.
but see,
And
that's assuming that the
What
woman
what
already proper.
equally yoked? What does she mean that she is
Lottie,
equally yoked with?
hey, elaborate, Lotta. He want to know what equally yoked mean. Equally yoked is not going to be the same thing for each couple. You know what I'm saying?
Need a man, and you don't know if you're equally yoked when
Exactly.
love
Well,
and
see, that's,
relationship is a man. It's a man and it's a
I
mode.
I agree. You got to figure it out. But you know what? Just
And
like there's red flags. Y'all see that red flag back there? Y'all see red flags too. You know,
yeah.
you know if you're not equally yoked after a few meetings or dates or
Hmm.
whatever. You know
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah.
Lottie, he asked you, what do you mean by equally yoked? I'm gonna let you put that in the comments. But
Hmm.
the one thing I need to point out that being equally yoked isn't the same for everybody. There's different levels
It
of
is.
being equally yoked. You can't say,
It is.
okay, they like this,
Mm.
so we got to be like this. Well, there's things about them that are completely different because y'all are completely different
Yeah.
people. Y'all got to find your
Two
own
different
equally
people.
yoked. You
It
got
got
to
to be
find
Hmm.
your own equally yoked. You got
Hmm.
to
It's
find
about
that person
being
that brings a
balanced.
balance. Yeah, and that's what she
Yoke,
About
means
yoke,
being
by
act-
balanced.
equally
yoke
yoked.
actually, yoke actually comes after mending and molding.
Hey, fat boy. Hey, Tyrone. Hold on. We got some stuff. Hold on. She can't because you're a narcissist. You don't like women with her own, with her own damn mind.
See
Can't
that
lean
right?
into
That
your
kind
own
of woman right
understanding.
there. This right here. She
Yeah.
fall into that category. Man,
Hmm.
I tell all y'all men, you got a woman that run her mouth all the time, always fighting, always talking, don't want to let you talk, think she the man in the house. Go get on top
Hmm.
of the roof of the house and you're going to find peace because
You
that's what the
listen. You
Bible
ain't finna
said.
talk no
Now,
trash about Rah Rah Negro. I'm not
I ain't
finna
talking about
allow it.
nobody. I ain't
You
talking about
said
nobody. I'm talking
that
about all
you
the women
you said.
who,
Hey, wait a minute. The comment is her comments. You said that's the
no,
kind of
I'm
woman
just talking
right
in
there.
general.
He
Now,
talking. He talking in
now she
general to
fall in
the
that
phrase or to the
category.
question.
It's not my fault. I'm talking to the
He has to
women
put on the
who,
shoe.
the
All
women
right.
who
So if it's shoe
got
fit,
their
wear
man
it.
testicles in
Here's
their
the shoe
pocket.
fit wear it.
Well, you know what?
I'm talking to them.
Hey, here it is. Y'all gotta understand this. If she has her testicles in his pocket, he allowed that.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but she need to
No, no, she.
whoever these people are.
But that
Sometimes
that
go
might be
ahead.
how they're equally yoked, though.
No,
Everybody's
that is not
equally yoked
equal.
is different.
That is not
That
equal.
might be their equally yoked.
No, 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 no.
I mean, I understand what you mean by that, but I'm
That's
just
against
saying.
what God says men and women supposed to be. I can go back to what I said. When men are out of line and we're going against the word of God, we're living in sin. When women are out of line and going against the word of God, they living in sin. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to admit the fact that, like in the passage that I was reading, the Bible also says, I'm gonna read this real quick, and I ain't gonna say nothing else. To love their husband, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, and keepers of at home, good, obedient to their own husband. That's what the Bible
See,
says.
the
So when
Bible
we out
says
of
that. So wait,
That's
wait.
the
Let me.
word.
yeah,
That's the Bible.
The
the
Bible
Bible,
also contradicts
That's,
itself because you're
no,
saying
it
being.
doesn't. It never does.
Let
It
me tell
never
you why
does.
I don't. In
No,
Ephesians chapter 5, it tells you straight
no,
up,
it never
men
does.
submit to their wives
Yeah.
and wives submit to their husbands. It says that.
we submit
It
from
it,
the jump
It,
because
it
we
said
willing to
that.
do
Hold
everything for
on.
no
y'all.
contradiction, but it goes to there's a time for
There's a
everything.
context
So
to
There's a
that.
time.
it's not a
There's a
contradiction.
time for everything, and
It's
so
time.
I'm not the type. I'm not the type of chick that likes to argue with my man in public. I just
No.
don't. I don't care how mad he's made me. I try real hard not to do that.
That's a
Tony
trait
said,
of a real that's a trait of a real woman.
Mm-hmm.
Tony says we need
Exactly.
to normalize breaking up with people and not complaining about them. All right, so she says equally yoked as in goals, values, and standards. Tony
They
also
go that
said
standard. You see that standard on the end? That standard on the end. That's meaning you trying to mold
everybody.
somebody
No, no, no,
into
no, no,
be
no.
what you
You
want 'em to
are,
be. No,
but that's why you find somebody who is equally yoked, who has similar standards. That's what she's just defining for you. That's
it
it.
ain't gonna never happen.
A
It ain't
lot of
never
women
happen.
has not had a real
It ain't.
narcissist. I
I can
have,
almost. I
Tony.
can. Just with her. When you think with the mind, it makes words transparent. I know she's probably like 50, 45. Her words are
Okay.
transparent when you think with your mind. When you go to playing standards, that standards mean that you want somebody to be you. You want somebody to come in and know. Do you want somebody to come in and be you when they're their own person?
That you don't want them to come in and be you. And
But
this
Yeah,
is
when you got a standard, that means you are not
let
gonna
me
do
no that
something.
no,
You're
because
not
see,
gonna accept
let me
something.
explain something to you. Some people have the same standards. And when you have the same standards as somebody else, that's an example of being equally yoked. If you both have the same standards, then y'all equally yoked. Y'all good for each
You
other.
may
Go on off and do y'all thing.
now,
But if
we
you
may
meet
have the
somebody
same
with
idea.
if, if you,
We may have the same
now,
idea,
well,
but
I'm not
a
speaking on
standard
the same
is
ideas. I just gave
is
you a blanket. I just gave you a blanket.
uh,
I gave you a blanket statement. Even if you got the same ideas, you still got the same ideas. If you got the same standards, you still got the same standards. It is highly
but it pertains
possible for
to a
people to
person.
have the same standards, but
Same
that's why
idea.
those two people who have the same standards are equally yoked. She's
see,
just giving you a definition of what it means for her.
No,
Hold on.
no,
Hold on. She said,
no.
at least I can build a damn house. And then she said, it's me, nigga. And then she laughed. And hold on, I'm going through why we don't know how to move on without an audience. Because it's 2025 and we got social media. They gave us audiences. It never contradicts. Also,
you
it's
see,
not in chronological order. Oh, baby, yes, it does.
No, it
In one
doesn't.
verse
The
it tells
Bible
you, hey,
never
don't eat. Hey,
contradicts
in one
itself.
place it tells you
You
don't
may
eat. In one
misunderstand,
place
but
it
it
tells
never
you,
contradicts
in one
itself.
place it tells you don't eat pork, and I have to tell people no, the Lord made the world clean. He said you can eat it.
It's a
you
misunderstanding.
see,
You got
Mercy,
to be
you
true.
hush. Okay,
you
never
see,
mind. I ain't gonna read that. I'm gonna just put it up on the
I,
screen. Hey, Thomasina. Equally
That's
yoked does not mean similar standard. It has nothing to do with it.
I
Equally
was just
yoked
gonna say
does
that.
play.
what I'm trying to say.
Un, unfortunately, it
It
kind
has
of
nothing to
does.
do with it. It
Okay, if
doesn't.
you look at, can I help you?
Doesn't.
What's up? Girl, if you don't get out of here, I'm in the middle of my show asking for some ice cream. Ask anybody else.
But
Now y'all ain't equally yoked.
this is
No, because listen, here's the thing. It's and a lot, the word is the word, and
Yeah,
the world in itself has
yeah.
evolved, and a lot. I'm not saying we can't or we shouldn't. People just don't, and it's hard for people to apply certain things with so much that's going on in the world now compared to what happened when they wrote the Bible. Second, we ain't even looking at the original version of the Bible. Y'all know that, right?
Uh,
well. See,
who,
I
who,
feel
who,
I
who, who can say that?
Okay, it's been proven.
Where you get your facts
well.
It just hey, trust it.
to
Hey, no, no,
to
no.
rebuttal that it's
I'm
not the
not.
original Bible.
I,
Where did you draw your rebuttal from?
that's a research. Go look. If I'm telling you to go research it, go research it. It can't. It wasn't that
What
long
do you
ago that
okay?
it
What do
come
you
out.
have better? What do
It
you have better other than the
it's not
Bible?
so
Well,
much about
To
what I
draw
have
from,
better. Hey,
to
listen,
source from.
what I'm telling you is the
Okay,
original version is
okay.
they purposely left things out of the Bible that we
True.
see
That's
today
true. I
to
can say that.
control
That's true.
slaves.
That's true.
So
That's
the
I
the
believe that
original Bible was
to an
discovered. Now,
extent.
mind y'all, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know this either. It was new information
Mm-hmm.
to me. So I was
Yeah.
watching a special, and I was like, "Well, dang!" And he just made an example. Like I can't remember the exact verse, but exact verse that we look at now wasn't the exact verse in what they consider the original Bible. It was written by a man at one point, and that's why it's called the King James Version. It's
Well,
a
well,
version
can I
of the
interject?
Bible. We're getting versions of it.
Can I
Yeah, that's true.
interject on this little bit?
It's true by me knowing that by the saying that anything man touches will be defiled.
Yeah, we're not
Anything
getting
he
the
touches
same
will be
thing.
defiled.
We need
That
to
meaning
normalize
he has
actual
it.
contracts, Lord have mercy. A
Yeah.
man example, maybe, but not the biblical standard. Yeah, but see, a standard isn't so. It's just a word to use in a descriptive way when you're having this particular
See,
conversation.
see, can I say something?
Because you know, for you want your man. If I have a standard that I need my man to love and cherish
Mm-hmm.
me, that's a standard
Mm-hmm.
I got, but that's also a
Yeah.
biblical thing too. So if that's a
Oh,
standard that
God,
I
man.
require,
In what
even though
in
he
what
should be
sense?
doing it anyway,
How's that biblical?
it's in the
In what
it's in
sense that
it's in the vows. But I'm just saying when you make your marital vows, that's why I just use that as an example. You don't know nothing about that. You ain't never told nobody I do.
Well, see,
Standards
see,
is
well,
personal. I
I
think
just
well,
use
standards are
that.
personal.
I just use that as an example, not
see, I,
on an argumentative way. It's man
see, I have
example.
an
Let's
issue.
see.
I have an
Let me
issue
go
with
find right.
people, dismissing certain aspects of the
It does.
Bible,
Sorry.
right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear
Yes, sir.
you. I was
Oh yeah.
I responded to
Oh
a
no, you
comment.
good. What I was saying, though, I have an issue with people dismissing certain aspects of the Bible because it forces you to look oneself in the mirror, and if you want to adhere to it, for instance, when it talks about, and I'm gonna record what you said, man submitting to your wives. There is a context in which that's to be
I'm sorry. I'm
used
not
in,
laughing at you. I'm
but in
laughing at the
general,
comments. I'm gonna
like for
look it up.
instance, right? You got women, oh, the Bible this and the Bible that, but every time something go wrong, you quick to call on God. What God are you talking about? The God of the Bible? So if you're gonna pray to the God of the Bible, also adhere to its tenets. Don't dismiss the parts that you don't want because it might not fit what type of man or woman you are. And the king, when you want to talk about the King James Version, it was his version of the
Hey,
translation, right?
somebody made a very good point. Many authors, but
Mm,
one orchestrator. The Bible debate is a whole nother show. That's a
Yeah,
rabbit
we don't
hole
really want to get into
because the
that.
Bible
yeah.
is plagiarized
It's
as well. And this is and see,
it's a
Yeah.
deep hole.
thank you, Tony. Thank you, Thomasina. Because I get what y'all are saying, but I'm like, hey, it's a version of the Bible. It's
And
a
see, this the
version of
thing.
it. So that is a whole rabbit hole. But
Yeah,
I agree. It is. It is
but
plagiarized.
let's
It's a whole
not
nother
but let's
episode.
not dismiss the
But
tenets of
we're
it
not gonna we're
because it
not
You
gonna
says what
can't.
it
dismiss the
said.
tenets of it because I'm about to wrap this show up. But Thomasina has made a very valid point. We can't even do what is in neither one. So we got enough to work on.
But we got to try.
We gotta try. Thank y'all fellas for joining the show. I let the show go over 38 minutes beyond the time. I supposed to call that man 20 minutes ago. And now y'all
He
got me
watching.
being disobedient.
Thank you.
They
Thank
watching.
you. Thank you, Miss Kizzy. We
Now
enjoyed
y'all
it.
look, now y'all got me being disobedient. Now he finna be
But
mad. Cause y'all
I'm
want to
telling
stay
you.
on here longer than the 30
Hey,
minutes to the
hey,
hour.
I'm gonna give kudos to you for the platform and allowing
Thank you.
us to come on here and converse with you
Yeah.
and have an opportunity to talk about the differences and the problems because as black people, we got different needs. We can't
Yes,
compare ourselves to white, Chinese, whatever, Indian.
we
We
can.
got different needs because our plight in this country has been totally different. We got
Right.
battles on every aspect that we fighting. So we have to be aware of that, understand that we are in a war against us, and we got to address that and not be fighting on the inside. And that's all
Amen
I
to
gotta say.
that. I'm
Mhm.
utterly
Yeah.
shocked because Instagram generally shut you off after hour, but they let this thing
Really?
roll. They
Really?
did. They let this
Mhm.
Yeah.
thing roll. Thank y'all,
Mm,
Mr. James is. Thank y'all for coming
mm-hmm.
out. Y'all are welcome to my
Yeah.
Goodbye.
platform anytime. It's
Thank
always
Yes, ma'am.
a good time when I can get men to come on and just talk they chalk on a Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am.
I always try to make it interesting. I always want to give y'all space. I try not to say too much, but y'all wanted a conversation, so we had one
Oh yeah.
you.
and
Had
I
one.
appreciate it. Uh, uh, y'all stay tuned for more.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Thank y'all for coming out. God bless. I'm finna wrap this thing up, but in the meantime, in between time, y'all going out of the studio. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. See y'all later. All right, y'all. We done had an hour and 39 minutes. Good night, Lottie. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Ra Ra. Thank you, Thomasina. Thank you, Tony. Thank everybody for coming in. Thank you, Lil Duke. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. It's always a good time for me. I love to have the fellas in the studio because they be wanting to talk. They talk because them words, me and a minute, it's a catchphrase and they fall for it every time. I might be on here talking that smack about a couple of dudes here and there, but guess what? I got my own thing. I got my own good thing. Well, I'm his good thing. So we ain't going to worry about it. I'm going to keep up the open conversations, the dialect, the communication, so that we as people can grow and get back to where Black love is highly celebrated everywhere. We celebrate it, but we want to get back to that throwback kind of love. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all know what I always say: be good or be good at it, but don't get caught. Love and light. I'm out.